Welcome to Full Moon Movies. There are certain films you revisit years later and realize they weren't just telling a story. In fact, they were making a statement that only becomes clearer with time. V for Vendetta is one of those films. Watching it today, especially in its 4K presentation, it feels less like a stylized dystopian thriller and more like a reflection on power, control, and the fragility of freedom. Directed by James McTeague and written by Wachowskis, the film is set in a near-future Britain ruled by an authoritarian regime. It's a world where surveillance is constant, dissent is punished, and fear is used as a tool of governance. At the center of this world is a mysterious figure known only as V, played by Hugo Weaving, a masked vigilante who seeks to dismantle the system through carefully orchestrated acts of rebellion. Now, what makes V such a compelling character is not just his actions, but his presence. Hidden behind the iconic Guy Fawkes mask, V becomes less an individual and more of an idea. His language and his theatrical delivery and his voice gives the character a sense of purpose that feels larger than life. Every word he speaks carries weight, often delivered in long, poetic monologues that blur the lines between performance and philosophy. Opposite him is Evie Hammond, played by Natalie Portman, whose journey becomes the emotional backbone of the film. Evie begins as an ordinary citizen, someone trying to survive within the constraints of the regime. But as she encounters V, her perspective begins to shift. Her transformation from fear to understanding and ultimately to empowerment is one of the film's most powerful elements. One of the most memorable sequences in the film is Evie's imprisonment and psychological breakdown. It's a turning point that strips her of fear and forces her to confront what freedom truly means. Portman's performance in these scenes is raw and intense, adding depth to a character that could have easily been overshadowed by V's larger presence. The film's narrative is layered, weaving together multiple storylines that reveal the extent of the regime's control. From the media manipulation to secret experiments and political corruption, the film builds a world that feels disturbingly plausible. It doesn't rely on futuristic technology to create its dystopia. In fact, it relies on systems that already exist, amplified to their extreme. Visually, V for Vendetta is striking. The use of lighting, shadows, and composition creates a constant sense of tension. The contrast between the dark, oppressive environments and the moments of explosive rebellion, particularly the destruction of symbolic landmarks, adds the film's dramatic impact. Watching the film in 4K enhances these elements significantly. The increased clarity brings out the textures in the costumes, the details in the set design, and the subtle expressions in its performances. And the iconic mask, in particular, stands out with greater definition, reinforcing its symbolic presence. The action sequences are used sparingly but effectively. These confrontations are choreographed with precision, blending elegance with brutality. Now, these moments are not just about spectacle. In fact, they reinforce V's control and his commitment to his cause. One of the film's defining features is its dialogue. The script is filled with powerful lines that have resonated with audiences long after the film's release. Themes of freedom, identity, and resistance are explored through conversations that feel both philosophical and immediate. In terms of reception, V for Vendetta performed well at the box office, earning over 130 million worldwide. It received generally positive reviews, with particular praise for its performances, themes, and visual style. Over time, it has grown into a cult classic, especially among audiences drawn to its political undertones. What makes a film endure is its relevance. The idea that fear can be used to control populations, that media can shape reality, and that individuals can challenge systems, all of these themes continue to resonate today. Now, comparing it to other dystopian films, V for Vendetta stands out because of its focus on ideology. While the films in 1984 or Children of Men emphasize the consequences of authoritarian control, V for Vendetta focuses on resistance, on the idea that change begins with belief. The final act of the film brings these ideas together in a powerful way. The image of people wearing V's mask standing together suggests that the character has transcended individuality. He is no longer just a person, he is a symbol. And that perhaps the film's most lasting message, which is that ideas cannot be easily destroyed. In conclusion, V for Vendetta is more than a dystopian thriller. It's a film about identity, freedom, and the power of belief. And the 4K presentation enhances its visual impact, but its true strength lies in its message. It's a film that challenges, provokes, and ultimately stays with you long after the credits roll. Now, this movie is a must watch.